What's up, Falcon Nation? Voice of the Friends University Falcons, Pat Strathman, here with the head football coach at Friends University, Terry Harrison. Another Friends Coaches Show here on YouTube. Glad to have you here with us, and a lot of exciting things to talk about for Friends football. It's the home finale this weekend at Adair Austin Stadium as Friends takes on number 10 in the country, Southwestern. 1 o'clock kick, so hope to see you out there on Saturday. But this past weekend, a dominating win for Friends University, 55-6 being the final score. So, you had Halloween on Monday, so, there was a little bit of a treat there for you going into Halloween there. So I'm not sure if it was as good as a Twix or not, Coach, but, not bad at all.
No, well, I have plenty of Twix left over, so I've been stealing them from my kids, you know what I mean? So our neighborhood apparently takes, Halloween very seriously, which I appreciate. So anyone listening, thank you for all the Twix, but that was awesome for sure.
Well, we had 50 kids stop on by, so it was a good time. So I'm glad that your Halloween was great, and it was good for us as well. Gotta give you a reminder that we are here at Chicken Max, 3 locations in Wichita. We are at the Weston Maple location, 325 Southwest Street. Chicken Max, locally owned and hatched right here in Wichita, known for their legendary sandwiches. By the way, today is National Sandwich Day, so no better place to celebrate that than right here at Chicken Max. They take the chicken sandwich to the max. Their smoked chicken is smoked in almond wood every day, several times a day in each location, giving it a fresh, unique flavor. Savory sides like mac and cheese, mashed potatoes and gravy, potato salad, coleslaw, and more. Club salads and power bowls with their smoked chicken for a healthy choice. Several sauces unique to Chicken Max, 3 locations in Wichita. Come on out and see us every Thursday at 5:30. We only got a couple more left, which is just crazy to think about. But, Coach, a big win last weekend over Bethany, 55-6. 49-point win equals the biggest win for Friends since 2011. 56-7 win over Bethel back in the day, and the largest overall since 2008. 54-0 against Southwestern. You improved to 4-5 on the season, and now it's number 10 Southwestern. But we'll talk about that here before too long. Let's get a recap of the last weekend's game versus the Bethany Swedes up in Lidsborg. Your thoughts on the 55-6 ball game?
Well, just some of the things you mentioned, man. So proud of our kids, man. We just have a group of, when we call them warriors, man, just tough guys who play extremely hard. And so, here we talk about the biggest margin since 2008, 2011, whatever. Regardless of that, is it's mind-blowing to think that's the case, especially, with some of the track record we have and what we've been a part of. And, man, to know that, I guess, to see the growth in our program, and, we've had some highs that were awesome, from opening game win to, some good wins in the conference to then some of the lows we've had, which were all that good stuff. But to see that pay off and in such a historic victory, we want to celebrate that, and we're proud of that. And I think it speaks to our kids and, all the momentum we have going here at Friends University right now. But it just, makes me just grateful for the kids and grateful, we're coming up on senior night here come this weekend. But for those guys that have stuck out, the real hard times, it's just, really cool and really proud of those guys. And it was a big win, lots of fun, so many cool plays that happened. Yeah. And, you know how it is. There's always stuff you watch and you want to fix. But, man, just our guys had fun playing the game, man, performed the right way. Man, we're just something that everybody there was just proud of our guys, and I certainly was as well. So a lot of fun and a big win, and like you talked about, some historic things happened.
Yeah, and a lot of highlights too, for that matter, as you brought up. And it really started with defense with Pierre McNeal, who's going to be part of the show later on. And that's the thing. I'm fortunate to get film from you every single week. So as soon as the game got over with, I'm champing at the bit, come on, load so I can finally watch this game. And I'm watching it, and the first thing I see is a screen pass, and Pierre just reads it perfectly, just kind of bats the ball in the air and gets the interception. I'm like, that is so incredibly tough. And yet he made it look pretty easy. And then a couple more plays later, they would run the screen, and Pierre was right there every time. I'm like, well, Pierre did his homework. He watched film, and certainly the reward was an interception that really kicked things out the right way for your bunch.
Yeah, our defense played awesome, man. They were so awesome. We had one busted play. I mean, they would have been under 100 total yards of offense if we didn't have that one busted play, which was just a communication issue, not a performance issue necessarily. But, no, when we went back and we brought the kids in on Sunday, we watched it. That first play Pierre made was just one of those like legendary plays, and everybody's going nuts because he goes in, bats the ball, tips it up, and then intercepts his own tip ball. Man, it was just, it's awesome, and that's the deal. Like that's how we want our kids to play, right? No fear of failing, just go out there, let it rip, and make plays, and have the confidence to do that. And to see those guys, do that, Pierre do that on that particular play, man, it was just. I mean, it's fun, man, and the way our guys have learned to, they take the field as a defense, as a unit, they sprint on the field, and then when they get to come off and they're enjoying it on the sideline, like, those are the small victories you have, right? As we basically, we're treating our program like a startup. I know we've talked about that, but like to see, like, you can just see now when we make a play, they actually know how to celebrate and enjoy it and get to the sideline, and I mean, that can sound so silly, right? But it is. Unfortunately, as a coach, man, what you have to fight is not taking the joy out of the game, man. And it is a game, and a lot of levels a really silly game. But we want our kids to love it, man. And despite if winning is the only thing to solve your frustration or make you happy, man, we'll all fail eventually. And so what you want is those guys to love playing together. But we saw so many examples of that on Saturday, and that one in particular was one that was just I'll probably never forget it because it was such an amazing play, and Pierre's done a good job and certainly has overachieved on a lot of levels this year.
1 of 3 interceptions for the game. Nolan just continues to rack up the INTs, which is always great to see. You guys have had a plethora of interceptions the last couple of games, and I know defensive coordinator Paul Kemp would like to see more sacks and more pressure. I get that, but the takeaway game, you guys have done a tremendous job the last couple of weeks. Why is that? Is it just simply guys making plays, just feeling comfortable, being aggressive? What do you really attest that to, I guess? What do you attach that to?
Yeah, I mean, obviously as a coach, you want to hope it is we're preparing our guys for what they're going to see, and then and then obviously just, man, we have good players, right? They're out there just like we talked about, playing free and not having the fear to trigger on footballs and passes. And what I feel like we have is our DBs they've lost that fear. Defensive back's a very unique position, right? And if you mess up, it's a touchdown, right? Just like the one busted coverage we had Saturday. Whereas, if you're an offensive lineman, you miss a block, hey, you get another down, second down, and you get to kind of redo it there. Where DB's not like that. And what can happen is, or at least in my estimation, in that position, it is a scary thing to really be aggressive in attacking footballs because you don't want to give up a touchdown. And man, I really feel like that. Braden has had some interceptions, and then Nolan's just had so many. I hope, and it sure looks like he's so comfortable, and there is not that fear of giving up a touchdown. It is simply going and making plays on footballs, and that's what he's done an amazing job. And he's somewhere. He's at the. I actually have not looked because it's not that time of year for me yet. Yeah. He's got to be at the top of the conference in interceptions, if not I mean, top 3, top 4, top 5. I mean, he's getting in that. Mm-hmm. He's getting so many. It's getting pretty. It's getting to where he's got to be at the top of the conference. So that's been awesome. And then, like you talked about, and we've kind of reinvented ourselves a little bit. We've always done it with pressure in the past. We've kind of had to adjust our defense a little bit to maybe we're not sending as much pressure. But our DBs have really embraced that, and they've done a great job in coverage. And so, man, those guys have done awesome. I know Coach Kemp's proud of, and to see those guys, I mean, I know our guys are putting in work, and, those DBs take their job real seriously, and they're working real hard. And I know our scout team has done a good job of kind of making sure they're getting good routes. And we have a fantastic scout team that's helping them out every week. So, I would guess that's what it would be. At least, that's my guess, right? On top of that, maybe it's just they threw the ball to our guys. I don't know, but we're definitely we're taking advantage of it. And, at some point, you got to tip your hat whenever those guys do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, very impressive stuff there, getting those 3 interceptions on Saturday. Plus, you had a forced fumble, too, by Jacoby Smith, and then it was recorded by Braden Gordon. So that was another big play as well. But a play that really should get a lot of love, that really kind of switched things up and really swung things back in your advantage was, I know the week before against Ottawa, just dealing with that win coming from the South, hard for Bobby Schmidt. He was able to bounce back on Saturday with a couple made field goals. You guys get a block punt. And at least I thought you had at least that's what it showed on the deal.
Yeah.
So
it was a punt off a helmet.
There you go, punt off the helmet, whatever it might be. I mean, you know what it is. So anyways, sorry. But the thing is, when you guys give up that long touchdown, what happens the next time? You guys get a kickoff return for a score. Yeah. Just bam, like that, and it completely switches everything. So I'm sure Eric Kelly's probably doing backflips, right now with those glasses on, something like that. But that's the thing about special teams. I know this year, Kickoff coverage is something you guys had to really put a heavy emphasis on, and things have gotten better. I'm sure it's got to feel great to see special teams kind of go back in your favor when you respond in such a way after giving up a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, there were so many great special teams moments, and you know how it is, man. It's you stress it, and every coach says special teams is the third phase of the game, but, man, it really does take we will never make – I think I've mentioned that. We will never make that mistake again. I know we told the kids we will never lose a special teams battle ever again. And, I think KW had given up a punt for a touchdown, and all those other – we've had some mishaps and kickoff stuff. So, anyway, we have as much as we've ever focused on special teams, we've done that, right? And so then to see we do give up that busted coverage touchdown. We blocked the PAT, had an unfortunate weird penalty.
That's what I was probably thinking of.
Yeah, we blocked the PAT. And return it for a score. BG did, and we had a penalty on a weird call, but whatever penalty. And then we bounced back and they blocked it again. And Pierre blocked that and he returned it. And so, man, it just shows you that we have our kids every time we leave locker room. We say if something bad happens, and the kids say make something good happen, and they embrace that, man. So we had a busted coverage. Something bad happens, they go out there and they block 2 PATs in a row. I don't think I've ever seen that in my playing career or coaching career. I've never seen 2 back-to-back block PATs. In that scenario. So that was awesome. And then, like you talked about, kickoff return for touchdown. And it just, when you have a team that you're playing better than and you outclass, like we did Saturday, man, that team has a little bit of hope because we busted a coverage, and then, man, we just took it right back away. And that was what was really cool to see. And like you talked about, Bobby and and Aiden have done such a good job. And those specialists, Zach Thompson's a snapper, Killian's worked.
Did I see that Aiden hit a 63-yarder in practice?
Yeah. But hey, that those guys. Man, it's one of those deals like they take it very seriously, right? And that's what you want, right? You want specialists to do that, and man, they're tough guys. When they've struggled, they tough it out and they focus on getting better. And it's a really hard position, because there's just, unfortunately, I am not an expert on kicking. I'm just not, and those guys, there's such limited resources out there, and so those guys really have to critique each other and peer coach each other, and we want to do the best we can. We can time stuff, but man, those guys did a great job of that. So all around, I felt like, man, they just special teams was like you talked about. It was game-changing, and what we want to do is now when we get an opportunity in a big game, we want to make sure that we win that phase of the game. And then, man, generally, if you win offense or defense with special teams, you have a great opportunity to win.
Offensively, Zach Dressler winning the KCAC Offensive Player of the Week, and rightfully so. He was very, very solid as he rushed for 164 yards on Saturday. First 1,000-yard rusher since 2016, a guy by the name of Jesse Rogers, who ran for over 1,000 yards. And for those that don't remember Jesse was a dude. That dude could run the ball. That was my first year covering the conference at Kansas Wesleyan, and it was a nail-biter in Wichita. It was a last-second field goal. Kansas Wesleyan had this history of not kicking field goals. Matt Drinkle just simply refused to do it, and they had to kick a field goal and make it a 45-42 win. But Jesse, when I saw him in person, I'm like, this dude can run the ball. He's got to be the top tailback in the conference. And here's Zach with a 1,000-yard season, a guy who has signed up for 30 car crashes a day, as Coach Reed has politely said it, but I can't get enough of it because it's so true. That guy signs up for violence pretty much every single play, right. And to see him get rewarded with over 1,000 yards here for the season, that's got to make you happy.
Yeah, just such a awesome kid who's been the best teammate, or one of the best teammates on our team, and a guy that, everybody knows our history of recruiting him. He went somewhere else, and then when we came to Friends, he chose to come join us. And just, his family, everybody's been through, a long couple of years in families with some of the stuff, but to know what his family's been through and, man, to see him out there. We've been, our staff we've been the leading rushing team in the country for 4 years now, and I don't think we've had a 1,000-yard B-back. To be honest, I don't know that our guy at our previous school did that, but regardless, the fact that he did that, and we still have 2 games left is amazing, and he's just a good kid, great teammate, all that good stuff. Has battled some injuries, and and he's splitting time. Him and Q split reps, fairly evenly, as much as they can, and yeah, I just think that speaks to how much improvement we've made on the offensive line, the way our quarterbacks have been able to read and make decisions. And so, yeah, just super cool, man, because he's such a tough kid and a warrior, and what we want. It's truly what we want our program to be about, and we have more like him. But when you have a year like that, you get highlighted a little bit, right? You have 1,000 yards, right. And so, hope we get to add to that, and hopefully we can, continue to build around him as a guy that, he's going to be a returner and he's got a lot of eligibility left. So very cool.
Yeah, very much so. Want to throw out one more thing. Austin Pratt catching his first touchdown pass. So that was a nice little play. I wanted to put that out there too because that was cool. That was a nice play by Austin.
Yeah, and cool. His dad, Bakersfield, California kid. His dad was at practice Friday. We didn't design it that way, but for him to be in town and score that touchdown pass was awesome, man. And he was, honestly, that wide receiver position is a lot like slot, very unique for us. But we challenged everybody on our team. If you want to see what our program's about, right? If you want to see the type of, we talk about BTF, right? Being a big, tough Falcon. If you want to see what that means, go back and watch that game and watch Austin Pratt every play.
Yeah.
Because you want to talk about violence and playing the game the right way without the football, making tackles on special teams. I mean, everything that you want of a young man. Could not be more proud of him. And his value to our team is, man, more if not equivalent to to Dressler carrying the ball for 1,000 yards, and I really mean that. And man, I'm just incredibly proud of him and what he's been able to do as a freshman who's earned his way. And it's just really been undeniable, man. We just can't keep him off the field, and so he's out there doing his thing. So that was super cool. But to see him go in and score was awesome. And because honestly, he's not that kid that's all about that. But man, obviously, you want to reward kids when you can.
Of course,
and,
yeah.
Man, super cool, and not to be, I don't. It sounds like I'm overplaying that, but I promise you, if it sound like, whatever I said was understated, how important he's been to our team this year.
Well, Coach, this week you take on number 10 Southwestern. It's the home finale, and home finales almost always signal senior day. And I always love. I talked to Coach Myers Hendrickson about it at Kansas Wesleyan. I just love talking to coaches when they're in their first year and they start talking about the seniors, because I think you learn so much about how valuable those seniors are. And, yeah, you could talk to other coaches that have been there for 4 years and they know those guys for 4 years. You can get a sense of how important they are. But when a first-year head coach comes in, it's very simple. They easily can embrace you, or they can easily go, screw this, I don't want to be a part of this. That's not how it's going to go. So it can be a very tough situation for a first-year head coach and a completely different coaching staff, but this group of seniors, truly special.
Yeah, absolutely. What you said is exactly right. The guys that have stuck this thing out, man, I hope they find some value in what everyone else can feel, and obviously, man, we want to win conference championships and we want to play in playoff games, and that's just not a possibility for us this year in these last two games. But what you do know is the feedback we get from the campus community. Man, it just feels different on campus because of the way our kids are treating people, and the way they're treating women on campus, the way they're, the way they interact with people in classroom and the professors and all the staff at the university, the way they embrace other programs and embracing other sports and all that good stuff. It's hard to even put into words how much impact those guys have made. And the hard part is you hope they understand it. They probably don't. But, man, we've tried to tell them that and obviously as our promise to them is that does not go unnoticed. We have seniors that are playing. We have seniors that aren't. Mm-hmm. We have, there were kids at Friends that decided, hey, you know what, I'm done with football. I'm just going to finish and graduate from Friends. And that's totally fine, man. I'm proud of those guys too, because Friends is a great school and, football's really hard. But what you mentioned is exactly right. They could have done that, and they didn't. They were at every weightlifting session. They were summer guys. They're here practicing every day. And so, man, those guys are I'll always remember those guys, never forget everything they've done for our program, for Friends University, and they'll always be, talk about, being a big, tough Falcon, man, what they have done is it's a required, an incredible amount of toughness, and really mental toughness, all the physical toughness stuff too, but man, they just done such a great job, and they didn't have to, like you talked about, right, and to think about some of the issues that have happened and how it would have been just so easy to not be a part of it, and some of those guys, there's some kids from injuries like Carson Haldeman, man, one of my favorite kids who, he couldn't participate this year because of injury. It's his fifth year. He's the last kid remaining of his class that came in, so the only one left that's been a 5-year guy. And so, what does that tell you? He's literally the only one that could BTF it for 5 years, and so he's now contributing to our team in a coaching manner, right? So guys like that, and and there's plenty, right? Waylon and all those guys. Cam Walker's been an awesome practice team guy who's really helped us out and has had to have a different role than he wanted. Yeah. But he's truly embraced it. Been a great teammate. Manny, Manny's played a lot of football here, and he's just not quite. We just have some other guys that have graded out differently, and he's not played as much as he has in the past, but has been such a fun kid. He's a great teammate. who's going to go on, and now he's a Coke Industries guy, and so he's going to be a Wichita guy and successful, and he's probably going to be the president of Fringe University one day. Everybody knows Manny, right? And I don't know, man. There's obviously not just that. There's more kids than that, and I'm sure you know how it is. My brain's right now. I'm not thinking of all of them, but there's there Bobby, kicker,
right,
who's done a great job, and Deron Jacobs, who's a Wichita kid who came to Friends. Man, he's done phenomenal. And Christian Zaricki, I think that's the last 7 of. There's 7 of them. Who's a receiver who's played at Friends on and off. And this year Austin Pratt's come on a lot, and so they've split some time. We've got some packages for him, but my hope is that somehow in some way, right, they can find value in what they've done for this program, and then when they leave here, we can continue to build on that, and they know that it is about so much more than simply football. We hope to build something they can all be proud of.
No doubt. Well, on Saturday, the final game against number 10 Southwestern, Mound Builders this year with only 1 loss, and you just take a look at what Southwestern has going into this year. I think a lot of people were like, wow, they're going to have a lot coming back, and they do. They have a lot back. I know at quarterback, I'm just always impressed with what they've been able to do. It's all right. You lose Brad Cagle, what happens? Bring on Thomas Yam. Yeah, he'll throw for 400 yards. You have Thomas Yam who might be up. Bring on Luke Barnes. Yeah, he could throw for 400 yards.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like whoever's at quarterback, they have a system in place that any quarterback that's going to be there can truly succeed. I will say it'll be weird not to see Keyshawn Wyatt out there on the field because I got so used to that guy being on the field.
I've never coached without him on the field, so I understand for sure.
So it's a little different. And then defensively, I think that's where they really make their mark. Defensively, they have a great defensive line. That made a huge difference last year. They have a kid from Northwest High, Josh Carter, who's – man, he has elevated his game. When he was just a freshman, I was like, man, this guy's going to be really good.
Right.
I remember sending a text to Coach Steve Martin, like, this guy's going to be really good. So they got a lot of talent for sure. So your thoughts on this weekend's game against the Mound Builders?
Yeah, for us, and we have a unique history. We beat them last year in overtime. To secure a tie for the conference championship, beat them 2 years ago in the COVID year, whatever fall that was. Last 4-minute drive and beat them with as the clock was running out. Scored a 2-point conversion. So we have been in absolute battles. We lost to them 3 years ago, and in the fourth quarter they came back and beat us. So when we have a history with that staff and those coaches, man, we've been in some real battles. And so it's a game you always look forward to because we know it's going to bring out the best in both teams. So fast forward to Friends now, like you mentioned, see a lot of familiar faces. And they're just a really solid team. I think they're number 10 team in the country. They're tied for the conference lead, so they're in the playoff hunt. And so they are certainly talented. And then they've been in some games very similar to us. They beat McPherson by 2, and we really feel like that game for us could have easily went our way. They were in a very competitive game and lost to Bethel, just like we feel like we were in a very competitive game. So it's really cool for us to see we've played one of the teams that are tied for the conference championship in Bethel early, very competitive, and then we've learned some hard lessons since then. So then now we get to play, a Southwestern team also tied for the conference championship, who's number 10 team in the country, and we're going to truly see how much growth we've made, in my opinion, right, against a top 10 team. And so, I think I don't know that Friends has ever had a top 10 win. I don't know the history, but I would guess, there hadn't been many, if there's been any, to where you can claim a win against a number 10 team in the country. And so that's the deal for us. It's a milestone that we want to win here. We want to win top 25 games. We want to win top 10 games. And so that's how we're approaching it. But like you mentioned, they're certainly very talented. They're tight ends, 6'7".
Lake Kaufman.
Yeah,
great target.
They throw him the ball up, and so there's going to be a size. Every game he plays in, there's a size mismatch. It's not just against us, and so he's going to get some catches. We're going to have to make sure we limit that as much as we can. Their quarterback that they're playing now, like you mentioned, the Brad Cagle kid's not playing for whatever reason, but he is. You might be a little more of a dual threat. So they pose some very serious challenges for us. And, the roll line is just really solid, and that's kind of been a little more of a turnover for them than the past. So, it's a great opportunity for us to see where we've come, and now that we've kind of adjusted defensively against our offense. Now on the defensive side, which you mentioned, a lot of defensive linemen come back. Number 94, coached against him for 3 years. He graduates, doesn't play, and then now he's doing his grad year. It's like, of course he is, and so he's a really good player. They're playing him a little more at nose guard than DN, and so we've done some stuff for him to make sure we're really prepared for him. But just what you mentioned is what you want, right? We want to be a relevant team in the conference, and then we want to be nationally competitive. And what better opportunity can you get to see where we're at today than to play in this game? And so their coaching staff does a great job. We're so excited. We had a great week of practice. The rain. Who knows with the weather, right? It might be.
Yeah.
We might be clear. I know
that's right.
The forecast is changing a little bit, but. It's just really cool that we get to finish this season out, against a team like that for our home finale. That's really good, and it's going to really propel us moving forward as far as where we're at today. What can we do to improve to get ourselves into this conversation of nationally relevant now and a top 10 type of team? And so that's why it's exciting for me more than anything. Our guys. They've learned how we operate, so it's been an awesome week of practice. You don't do anything different. You simply try to get yourself better and get yourself prepared. And so, like you mentioned, very talented team. And I know our guys, if they've done anything, they have not shied away from any challenge, and any challenge they've had, they've answered. And so the challenge now is to try to play at the level of a top 10 team, and I think we're going to do that.
Awesome. All right, Coach, thank you so much. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Terry Harrison, head football coach at Friends University, here on the Friends University Coaches Show. Friends coming off that 55-6 win at Bethany. Now it's the home finale on Saturday at 1 o'clock at Adair Austin Stadium. Don't let the forecast scare you away. I know
Bring it on.
Coach Harrison was talking about that. Don't let it scare you away. Come on out to Adair Austin Stadium, 1 o'clock, top 10 team in the country coming to town in Southwestern, a team that's awfully impressive. So should be a fun one this Saturday from Adair Austin Stadium. Well, don't go anywhere. We still have more to get to here from Chickamax. We'll have two players. Quentin Owens, San Antonio, Texas freshman. He's the B-back that helps out Zach Dressler. And we'll talk to Pierre McNeal, the guy who made that incredible play from his linebacker spot. So that's coming your way next here on the Friends University Coaches Show from Chickamax. Welcome back to the Friends University Coaches Show from Chickamax. I'm Pat Strathman. Pleased to be joined by two members on the Friends University football team. To my left, a freshman B-back from San Antonio, Texas, Quentin Owens. To my right, a junior linebacker from Mesa, Arizona, Pierre McNeal. Fellows, glad to have you here on the show. It's National Sandwich Day, and we're celebrating here from Chickamax. And I was told, did you both go chicken and waffles? Is that what you did?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I got the sandwich, though.
You got the sandwich, though.
Yeah, I got with
Came in the clutch, yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
with the chicken tenders.
Okay, with the chicken tenders?
Yeah.
All right. Very, very good. Very well done. Well, guys, glad to have you here. And certainly past weekend, 55-6 ball game, a nice win, the largest win for Friends University since 2011 when it was a 56-7 final over Bethel. A lot to like. Defensively, forced 4 turnovers, had 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
Offensively, you guys were able to move the football at will, so just a complete game. Pierre, let's start with you being the older guy of the bunch here. Not like you're a grandpa or anything, but, we got to let the freshmen kind of get a feel of what's going on. So your thoughts on the last game against Bethany, 55-6 winners?
That game, it felt good. It felt like all of our energy was there all together as a team because the week prior, our energy wasn't there, and we just clicked for this game, and everything went all together. It flowed. You can see with the offense doing their thing and the defense doing their thing, everything just clicked, especially on the first 4 plays.
It's incredible to see what you guys have been able to do the last couple of weeks in the interception game. You guys have forced a lot of turnovers, and primarily you're picking off balls. So Why is that?
It's the way our coach Kim teaches us. He told us certain situations we got to read the quarterback and read the shoulders, which way they're pointing and stuff like that. But usually you got to get a feel of it too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's how we get our picks in. We just got to fly to the ball.
Sure.
So we do ball skills every day at practice.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk more about your ball skills because there's a certain play that we got to recap. I watch film. I'm like, all right. And Coach Harris says, who you want to talk to? I'm like, I need to talk to Pierre about something. So we'll get to that here shortly. Q, how about you? You're the freshman here, so you're a young pup. You're still kind of learning things, and you're almost done with your first season at Friends, which is crazy to think about because it felt like you just started yesterday. But 55-6 win over Bethany. Your thoughts?
Yeah, like Pierre said, it felt good to go out there and win, play as a team. like some guys who didn't get to play all the time got to get in and make plays, and it felt really good to watch them also make plays too. So it was a really good win for the whole team.
Well, with you being a beat back, I love what Jeremy Reed, the offense coordinator, said a couple of weeks ago when he said Zach Dressler and the beat backs, they signed up for 30 car crashes a game. And I'm thinking that is the best way to describe what you guys do as a beat back. You guys sign up for violence every single play. Because even if you don't have it, there are guys who are tackling you because they know that they got to stop the beat back because it's the most important thing. So this past weekend, you saw Zach Dressler go over 1,000 yards as a runner. So your thoughts on getting a chance to work with Zach and seeing that success take place on the field?
Oh man, Zach's a great guy. He's a great role model, and I just want to follow in his footsteps and hopefully reach 1,000 yards too.
Yeah.
So I mean, like he's had like so much success this season, and I just feel like he's a great role model for the whole team. Not just me as a B-back, but the whole team. So,
well, offensive line-wise, I think Zach probably the first to say, look, the offensive line kind of helps out a little bit too. So offensive line has gotten better, I feel like, pretty much every single week. Your thoughts on the offensive line play?
Oh, our offensive line is great. They come out every week. There's a few like brain farts, but other than that, like they go out every play and give their hardest. They have way more car crashes than us. So.
Well, Q, I want to get your thoughts. With you being a freshman, I remember talking to Coach Harrison maybe 3 or 4 weeks into the season, and I was like, I think you're starting to see Q kind of figure things out a little bit because it takes a little bit of adjustment period, right?
Yeah.
You go from San Antonio, Texas, and while you're playing in the same offense, you still got to learn because it's college ball. Things change a little bit. So what was that transition like for you the first couple of weeks, and why has everything clicked now? Is it just simply just getting like natural, just a natural feel? What do you think?
Well, I feel like this offense just takes a second to like settle in. Then like all the new play calls you have to learn, and then just the game is just faster at the collegiate level. It's just way faster than it is in high school. Like high school, you probably get like the whole 30-second clock to catch your breath, and but here it's like 10 seconds and then like you're back on the line and it's another car crash. So I mean, it's really demanding on the body.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm all for it, but that's probably the biggest difference between high school and college.
Sure. I always love asking freshmen this because Pierre knows what I'm talking about. I never played college ball, but even at the high school level when you're a freshman and you don't know, and this senior dude just blows you up for no reason other than just be like, welcome. This is what it's like. You got to play at this level. A welcome to college moment.
Oh, I don't think I've had one yet because
Pierre. He hasn't had one yet.
I mean, I feel like I've always stood my ground against everybody.
Yeah. And we don't do much
Contact.
defense to offense contact.
Sure.
And when we do have scrimmages, it's
all good.
It's all good.
Everyone knows what's going on. You don't want to hurt anyone.
Yeah.
So, okay, fair enough. Well, maybe we'll have one next year or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he'll be out there on the field or something, and a linebacker will kill him or something. I don't know. Not legit like that way, but you know what I mean.
Well, actually, my welcome to college moment was probably in the first game. Me and Zach were going 4 plays and 4 plays, and so I'm used to like being in high school. Like I just stay in the drive and play out till we score or turn the ball or whatever. I was at 2 plays and we were on like the 10, and coach swaps us out and Zach gets the score, and I'm like, man, that's different. I've never been on this side of the ball. I've never been on that side of that play call. So
that's my touchdown, Zach.
So I wasn't like jealous, but I was just like, man, that's he's the guy.
It's for the greater good, right? That's what it is.
He's the guy on the team right now. So I mean, I just gotta take a back seat and learn what I can learn and do what I can do.
Be a sponge.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Be a sponge, which is great. All right, Pierre, we got to talk about this interception that you had, man. I don't know how you did it. You made it look so smooth, too. Just tapped the ball up. And what's crazy is, like, that play happened, and then I'm watching the rest of the film, and Bethany would run a couple more screens, and guess who's there to blow it up? It's Pierre.
Yeah.
You were just on the screen game like it was nothing. But let's talk about the interception specifically. What do you remember about that play?
It was like in slow motion. So like, I was reading it, and for some didn't click when like the offensive line didn't touch me. So I'm like, dang, something don't feel right when they didn't touch me. So I looked, and right when I looked, I tipped the ball, right then and there, and it was hanging in the air for about 3 seconds. It felt like, but no one went up to go get it. I just had to go grab that. Had to take a chance. And by the time I touched it, I got blown up. I got lit up.
But that's what happens, though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Anytime that
definitely.
you tip the ball up in the air and you're the one coming down with it, see, that's the thing. You're already putting yourself in a bad position when you tip the ball up in the air because you're going like this already, right?
Yeah.
So you're already like this. So it's a clear shot for someone to just come in and drill you in the gut, right?
Take me out, yeah. It was crazy. I never felt that part. I always play defense hitting them. They hit me.
WWE out there, right?
Yeah.
Someone just queued up a spear and
Definitely.
just right
But,
there.
Yeah, I felt like if I didn't get hit, I probably would have took it for 6. That's what I felt like.
Well, I feel like that's the thing. I feel like the standard has been set by Braden and by Nolan. It's like, now I want to go get myself a pick 6. I
Yeah.
want to score.
Yeah, especially one of our linebackers, Peyton. I'm competing with him. I think he has 2 picks on the line.
He does.
And so I'm trying to catch up with him. And he's a freshman, and I
Yeah.
can't let no freshman outdo me. So, yeah.
All right. So we got a little internal competition.
Yeah, definitely.
With Pierre. With Pierre battling the freshman from Mill Valley High School here in Kansas, so that's awesome. But then after that, like the screenplays kept happening, and you were just right there.
Oh yeah, like so the read is like the read is not difficult, but it's also difficult at the same time because like when you're blitzing and they don't touch you, you know something's up.
Yeah.
But when you're in your coverage, and that's when you got to read. You're all set, so you got to read the 2 receiver and the tackle at the same time. And so you can tell when the tackle's coming after you, you know there's something up. It's not a run, it's a pass, a screen.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it was different right there.
All right, so let's get into a little bit about your backgrounds here. Pierre, I know you're from Mesa, Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
You came to Friends University. You were actually on the squad last year.
Yeah.
And you and I were just talking about that off the air. I was like, pretty sure you're a part of the squad last year. And you're like, yeah, I'm redshirted. When you have a new coaching staff that comes in, and I always love asking this question, whether you're a senior or junior, as long as you're a returner, I love asking the question because it's so easy now where a new coaching staff comes in and you go, you know what, this isn't for me. I came here because of that coach or whatever. I came here for that reason. I don't know if I'm going to stick it out and do it. But you made the decision, you know what, Coach Harrison, Coach Kemp, Coach Reed, I believe in what this coaching staff is really about. So your thoughts on that and choosing to stay and be a Friends University Falcon rather than trying to transfer out, maybe giving up football altogether.
Yeah, like throughout high school, I had a new head coach for all 4 years. So
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so like this change, it really didn't mean that much to me. So I knew like things were going to happen, and like especially when I looked into these coaches when they were like coming over here, like they have records from since high school to KCAC. So I knew we were in good hands, and that like they knew what they were doing, knew what they were talking about, and that they mean what they say and they say what they mean. So like I just felt like leaving with no playing time, it just felt like it would be harder to leave with instead of trusting the process and keep grinding to knowing like these coaches got us and that we got to go brick to brick and build this up.
Yeah. 4 coaches in 4 years.
Yeah.
What's that like?
It was different position every year or playing no type of like it was weird.
So then you finally settle as a linebacker at the very end, huh?
Yeah, so like my freshman year I was a B-back like Q for freshman and sophomore year. Then
nice gonna be asking for snaps. You're gonna go Coach Reed. Hey, Coach Reed, put me in.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
I already have multiple times.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by that in the slightest. But go ahead.
Yeah, and then like we had got a new coach my junior year, and that's when I just like junior year I mostly played defense at linebacker, and I was moving from outside linebacker to inside linebacker, and it was just something different. And like inside linebacker didn't fit for me.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel right until my senior year, where I just played strictly linebacker to focus on to playing at the next level, and that just felt right when I came across Friends University.
Okay.
Yeah, and then COVID happened.
Yeah.
And
Which I bet that was fun.
that was a weird experience with COVID and being at Friends. So it was just ups and downs the whole time.
Right.
Throughout the whole time.
But there's a different feel, right?
Yeah.
On campus with this team, right? There's
Oh,
a
yeah,
different
definitely.
feel.
Yeah, like from my freshman year and sophomore year here, like it was just like the connection wasn't there. But now, like it's not against offense against defense anymore. It's more like everyone's together into this, and that we're not worried about this or we're not worried about that happening.
Yeah.
So it just feels good being on friends.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go to the young pup here, Quentin Owens from San Antonio, Texas. Before we dive into really your background, why did you choose Friends University?
So I really committed to Bethel at first, where they were at originally, and I went there because they run the same offense as my high school did, and they had a really strong connection with my high school coach. So I just felt like it was like the best fit for me and where I was at in my career.
So, of course, when they said, hey, we're going to come to Friends University, you easily could have said, I'll stay at Bethel. But you're like, no, I'm going to go follow the coaches right down this way.
Yeah. I wasn't really going for, like, the logo or anything. I was just going for those coaches. So when they decided to move, it was an easy option for me to move with them.
Has like the offense down in San Antonio, the one that you grew up with, has it always been the same offense? So you have 3 years of experience running this offense already?
Well, no, because I didn't start running it until my sophomore year. But my sophomore year, I didn't play B-back.
Okay.
I played quarterback and slot.
You were a Q.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Really?
Hey, just check the highlights, man. You know.
Yeah,
check the highlights. Yeah.
I used to
Check
sling
the
that
highlights.
pigskin, man.
Q at QB, you know, Q at Q. All right, I guess that kind of rolls off the tongue. I'll let it slide. And Pierre's like, I don't know about it, but for me, I'll let it count. So.
And then junior year, that's when I moved to like true B-back. I was just at B-back behind a really good B-back. And then senior year is when I was the sole starter.
Okay.
So
So you had a chance to at least learn what was it like to sort of spell another B-back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're behind a guy already, so you already kind of have a little bit of experience with that a little bit.
Yeah, sharing reps and stuff, and just doing what you got to do when your number's called. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. Like, it's because I know that at some point there's going to be a time where there's a B-back behind me, and he's going to have to do the same thing I'm doing. So that's just what happens with this offense.
You enjoy the B-back?
Yeah. I love B-back.
I mean, you seem like a smash mouth type of guy. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I love contact.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, when I asked him, like, welcome to college moment, he's like, I haven't had one. I'm like, that means you like contact, okay? Because usually freshmen are, like, out there not knowing a thing, just running around like baby deer, you know? They just don't know what they're doing. And you get smashed, and you're like, ooh, okay, that's a different type of pop than what I felt in high school. But to you, it's no biggie, no big deal. You were telling us off the air that you weren't in San Antonio for your entire life. You were actually in Alaska.
Yeah.
So what was that moment like going from Alaska, welcome to sunlight. I bet daylight is probably just wonderful to see, right? Because Alaska is just notoriously, like, if there was ever a vampire lair, like, it would be in Alaska. I mean, let's be real. That's how it would be. I mean, just saying. But you went down to San Antonio, Texas, so you go from cold to heat, so it changes a little bit. So what was that like for you?
Well, I had left in June of like 2019, so it was like peak heatness, and when we came down here before the football season, my dad was just working me out in the sun, trying to get me ready for the football season because he knew it was gonna be like a really big change for me, and it was hard. Like first few weeks in the pads in that sun, it was beating me down.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But now you're adjusted. Now you're fine.
Yeah,
No
now I'm good. Now I'm a real Texas boy.
A real Texas boy.
Well, now I got to get reacclimated to the cold because now I'm in Kansas.
This wind is crazy. I don't like it.
It's spoken like a true guy from Arizona. Right? This wind is crazy. And, like, man, I remember going to Arizona one time in, like, June or July, and I'm like,
heat wave.
Wow, there's a lot of heat out this way, but like it's completely different than Kansas because it's just dry. Yeah. So I'm like, I can mess with this. This is great because like here in Kansas, that the humidity is just where you just get a little out of control. So anywho, but you're used to the heat now, so that's good. That's awesome. You're talking about how you're from a military family, right? So any lessons out of that? Like just yes sir, no ma'am.
That's about
that
it.
type of thing.
Just
be respectful. Just
ma'am,
work
no ma'am,
hard
and respect all the adult figures. And then, because my parents aren't, they're not directly in the military, but all my grandparents are in the military. So they just kind of my parents just raised me how they were raised, but like a little bit less.
Not
We
as-
didn't have to bounce any quarters off the bed or anything.
That's funny.
well, you have a good relationship with your grandparents then, sounds like. So,
They come down for all the games.
do they really?
Yeah,
Okay.
they've made all the games this season.
All right. You have, to
San
point,
Antonio.
you have to point them out to me here
Okay.
on Saturday. You have to be like, hey, those are people right there. Go up and talk to them. I have to go up and be like, all right, so Q, he's been the most disrespectful person. He's been nothing but a problem here on this Friends University football team. He's just been a nuisance. He's all about himself. I'm sure they'll look at me and be like, who's this weirdo? Get away. Like, there's no way this is true about Quentin Owens. So, anyways. Well, I want to ask about this because this has already been a topic here on the show pretty much from day one. NFL fan?
Yes.
Okay. Cowboys?
No.
Texans?
49ers.
Is that just because they got Christian McCaffrey? You just magically became a 49ers?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
I've been 49ers. When they were losing, when they were winning way back when
Dang.
they're starting to win a little bit more now, I'm all for everything. Niners.
Oh, yeah.
Well, my Chiefs had a lot of fun with them recently. 44-23 final. But it's all right.
It's all right. That's okay.
They got CMC now, man. They're going to be so good. Kyle Shanahan will just have a field day just drawing up plays.
It rains sometimes, but the sun's always going to come back.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
49ers going to have their day.
Do you have a player that you watch in the NFL that you try to emulate? They want to be CMC. With you being a B-back, I find that interesting because the fullback nowadays, it's a position that's really has fallen by the wayside. I don't like people use a B-back or a fullback anymore.
Yeah,
so,
I don't really have anybody that I'd probably try to
yeah,
mimic.
yeah, sure.
No,
Fair enough.
Really.
Yeah, because fullbacks, they're just not the same anymore. 9 times out of 10, teams don't even carry a fullback. They just go, hey, just bring on another offensive lineman and call it good.
Tight end.
Tight end.
Or a
yeah.
tight end.
Tight end.
Yeah, change your personnel. Are you a Cards guy?
I'm not. I'm Atlanta Falcons.
Atlanta Falcons. So
Yeah.
it's been really rough for you then.
Oh, real rough. But we're doing good right now. We're leading the conference.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. It was a fun game before the season. We were talking about like different teams and who we really like, and we're going in the NFC South like trying to pick who would win. And we're like, oh, the Saints. We start talking about the different teams, right?
Yeah.
And we get to the Falcons, and I go. I talked to my producer because I have a show from 2 to 4 every single day here in town. I told my producer, I go, name 6 players on the Falcons roster. It is challenging.
Yeah.
Unless you're a diehard. Because, like, serious. You have,
Yeah.
like, the easy one, Marcus Mariota. Now you can't say Calvin Ridley anymore.
No.
Kyle Pitts, because every fantasy football owner with Kyle Pitts is angry right now. So
Definitely.
that's how that goes, right? You have Drake London, most recent pick. At Cordell Patterson,
Yeah, Cordell's cold.
right?
Yeah.
And then you go like the defensive side, you go, I don't recognize anyone. You stop. It's hard to name 6 guys on the Falcons roster, but hey, they've been all right. They've been
Yeah,
okay.
definitely. They've been all right. They're
Okay.
Better than what they used to be. So I just been sticking it out.
Yeah.
Simply, that's all I can do.
You could be like the Bucks, right? I mean, the Bucks have been a little disappointing, as well as the Packers. So
Oh yeah, I feel bad for the Packers.
yeah, just not ideal.
Yeah, they're not clicking.
But with you being a linebacker, do you watch a particular linebacker at all, or no?
Nah. Like I used
Like
to, but
Roquan Smith, who's now with the Ravens, or Patrick Queen, and all those people.
nah, I usually don't. Cause like each linebacker has like their own flaws and own
Sure.
like ways to play. So like I watch a little bit, but I'm not a diehard to like take everything up under and like be them.
Sure.
So I just try to be myself and do what I can do, and just see what they mess up on and see if I can pick it up or not. So
I like it. All right. Well, this past Monday was Halloween, so let's talk some Halloween candy here. Top Halloween candy, Pierre McNeal.
I'll say
Putting
Crunch.
him on the spot.
I'll go Crunch first.
Ooh.
Twix.
That is disgusting.
What?
I mean, Twix is good. Crunch is a choice.
Crunch is what?
Crunch is a choice.
I don't know.
But there's no hate. We're not
Crunch,
hating here.
Crunch is like the last thing left in my.
Nah.
No, Almond Joy is the last thing.
No, he
That's
probably like
on
Almond
there.
Joys.
Oh no.
He probably like Milky Ways or something.
Or those like
Actually, one guy, we're doing a Mount Rushmore Monday, and he goes, my number 1, Milky Way. And I'm like, that is a choice. That's bold. Real bold.
Yeah, that's nah.
I mean, it's candy at the end of the day, so it
That's
is
true.
what it is. But Crunch, number one.
And Starburst third.
Starburst.
Yeah.
Which, all right, come on. What's the best combination? You have those two little ones that you get, like the mini ones. You open them up. Where are the two colors that you're hoping to get?
Pink and yellow all the time.
Pink and yellow?
Yep, pink and yellow.
Yellow's third on my list.
What?
Yeah, it's double pink is the correct answer.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's pink red. And then it's double red.
Mhm.
And then you can mix in a yellow that's in there.
Yeah.
Double orange is just the worst.
Yeah.
My wife got a double orange. She goes, oh, man. But then she got rewarded with a double pink. She got really excited. So,
Man. I wish I could get like, I think it's like a burgundy color. The one, like a purplish.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about, the
like
Starburst? Is it like cherry? Is it like, I'm not sure.
You're talking about like the different flavor ones?
Yeah.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking
not
about,
the
though?
originals?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah, those
see,
are fire.
I haven't messed with some of the other Starburst ones, so I guess I have to
Mhm.
get out there and try them a little bit.
Yeah,
so.
definitely.
All right,
Yeah.
Q,
Those
you're
are
on the
those are
spot.
the
You're
favorites.
you're talking smack here now.
Yeah, it's on
So
my crunch.
let's see what he's got.
All
Right?
right, top three. I'm gonna go Kit Kat, Reese's, and then Starburst.
How do you eat the Kit Kat?
I'll break it down.
Okay, just make sure you are a psychopath.
You don't take them individual?
There's some
Huh?
people that just go and just
You don't eat an individual?
What
you
you
do
mean?
two. You don't do.
You break it in half,
Do
you
you
eat
go,
two
you
at a
go
time?
1, 2, 3, 4, or do you go two at a
Yeah.
time?
No. I just break one off.
Okay.
Like if I have the bar, there's one. Eat that one.
He's got the right idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some people that are
Crazy.
psychotic. That go.
Yeah.
No,
Mhm.
no.
They bite like 4 at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are
That's
you
crazy.
doing? You gotta savor the moment, people. Come on now. So
What-
did you say double red for you?
No,
For
it'd be,
Starburst?
no,
It'd be
it's
double pink,
double
right?
pink.
Okay, good.
What
Q's
about
got
you?
Well, my number one's Reese's. Like, that's number one by far. I gotta remember what I all picked. Number 2 was Twix. I'm trying to think of the other ones. Number 3. So you know those Tootsie Roll Chews. I'm more of like a fruity type of lover,
I
but
know what
those
you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
But
Great,
not
like-
not those blue ones though.
correct.
Not the
Not
blue
the
ones.
vanilla.
Not the vanilla.
Not the vanilla.
But the pink ones, huh?
See?
Yeah.
Yeah,
See?
yeah.
You
them pink
guys
ones
know
go
what I'm talking
fire.
about? Yeah. Because they're so underrated. No one ever like thinks about it. And
That
like
is
we
true.
got the leftover candy on Monday, and I'm like, oh man, I wanted more than like 10, and one of them was a vanilla, and I'm like, I'm not eating it. Like you eat the vanilla.
Which one is better though? Like the original Reese's or the Reese's that are shaped like other stuff,
You know,
like trees
I
or pumpkins?
feel like when you do, I mean, the ultimate, it's a Reese's Easter egg. Like that's number
I was
one.
just thinking that.
That's
I was
number
just
one.
thinking that.
But you have like other ones, right? If they are shaped in a football or whatever,
Mhm.
yeah, for sure, I'll eat those.
The Easter egg is better.
I don't know why. I just feel like they taste better than the
Yeah,
original.
because like
Yes.
they have more peanut butter.
Yeah,
It seems
peanut butter.
like because it's like
it's
shaped
better.
like egg.
It's better distribution of the
Yeah,
peanut butter.
that's what I'm
Because
saying.
like when you got a little cup, like don't get me wrong, they're fantastic. It's just like it's kind of like this. It's like it's not the same.
Yeah,
the
I can-
ratio is a little off.
I
You
can
know what I
never
mean?
peel a Reese's cup without.
The proper way.
Yeah. I always have something I have to lick it off
Okay, so
you put them in your pocket or something.
all the time. They be melted. Got throw them in the freezer.
Pierre just walking around, like Cheeseburger Eddie and like the longest yard. He's handing out all these Reese's to people that are smashed and melted and everything. That's what he's doing. Oh man! So Crunch is at the bottom for you then?
Yeah,
All time?
That's crazy.
Not like
What's
all
the
way at
worst?
the bottom.
What's the worst then? Give me the absolute worst.
Whoppers?
Dang.
Okay.
Whoppers or
It's an acquired taste with
What-
Whoppers.
you know those like
Candy corn?
yeah, candy corn's pretty bad, but you know like the Mike and Ike's, but like they're like the spicy ones.
Oh,
like
okay,
the
hot
cinnamon.
Red
tamales?
Hot?
Yeah, hot tamales.
What?
Yeah, those
I
are
was
those
like,
are bad.
Q, my all-time favorite like movie like treat, my snack when I'm watching a movie in a movie theater, Mike and Ike's, but they're not hot tamales.
No, I just
miss the
had
hot
to,
tamale.
That's how I had to explain it.
Okay, I like it. Pierre, what's the very bottom?
I'll
Mine's
say
almond joys. Like it's not even close. Like almond joys are just the worst thing on this planet.
either Milky Way or Snicker almond.
Huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Very specific with the
Oh,
Snicker almonds. I know what you're
yeah.
talking
Yeah, no,
about.
those are bad.
Yeah.
Those are down bad. They're down bad.
Almonds are just
Not a fan?
Nah,
No.
almonds are just horrible.
Are you? You sound like you're a fan.
I mean,
Ah, there you
they're
go.
all right. they're okay. I don't think they're good. It's just
So
just,
if it's there, you eat it. You like,
I'm not one to to pick and choose. Sometimes you don't get picky when you get older. You just kind of get used to things. Like I was the pickiest eater growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got to college and I started getting invited to like these people's houses, and they're like, "Oh, we have this, we have that." I'm like, you know what? I'm usually not a fan of that, but I am in college. I haven't had a home cooked meal in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to dive right into it. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, that tasted great. I like that now.
Yeah.
So I'm not
Yeah.
nearly as picky as I once was. Now you just kind of go, you know what? I like that. But
That's true.
Anywho,
Yeah.
you guys will learn. You guys will get older.
Well,
You'll
it's more
realize
like a respect thing for me. Like if I come to the house and
Right.
like they make something that
You eat it.
I'm gonna eat it,
Yeah.
even
Oh,
if
yeah.
I don't like it.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
true.
gonna eat it.
As long as I'm not allergic to it, we're good. I don't have any allergies to my knowledge, so we're in good shape. As long as they offer something, I go, yeah, sure, I'll take a bite. Why not? You're the one who's taking the trouble to actually make me food. So
Yeah.
That's true.
that's the way it is. Good call. All right. Well, nicely done, gentlemen. Appreciate your time and have yourself a wonderful weekend as you take on Southwestern this weekend and enjoy the rest of the season.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Pierre McNeal, Quentin Owens, here on the Friends University Coaches Show from Chicken Max. It's National Sandwich Day, and I'm glad we had a chance to celebrate it right here at Chicken Max. 3 locations in Wichita. We're at the Weston Maple location, 325 Southwest Street in Wichita. Chicken Max, locally owned and hatched right here in Wichita, known for their legendary sandwiches, taking the chicken sandwich to the max. Their smoked chicken is smoked in almond wood every day, several times a day in each location, giving it a fresh, unique flavor. Savory sides like mac and cheese, mashed potatoes and gravy, potato salad, coleslaw, and much more. Club salads and power bowls with their smoked chicken for a healthy choice. Several sauces unique to Chicken Max. Come on out and check us out next Thursday at 5:30 as we record these coaches shows at that time. It's Friends of Southwestern on Saturday, 1 o'clock kick. Come on out to Adair Austin Stadium. Don't be scared of that forecast. Come on out. Should be a great time, and it's a big game for Senior Day here in Wichita. That does it for us here today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next time. Talons up.